Then there's the friend. The United States, Canada's closest ally, NORAD partner, and brother in arms. But on the Arctic, they are our oldest adversary. The US Navy's position is absolute. The Northwest Passage is an international strait. Why? Because if they let Canada own it, they set a precedent. If Canada can close its strait, then Iran can close the Strait of Hormuz. China can close the Taiwan Strait. To keep the world's oceans open for the US Navy, they cannot agree with Canada. So, when the ice melts, don't expect the US Coast Guard to help us kick out trespassers. They will be the ones leading the parade, waving to us as they sail through our backyard without asking. If a Chinese destroyer sails through the Northwest Passage in 2028 and Canada radios them to say, "You are in Canadian waters," and they ignore us, what happens? This brings us to the Harry DeWolf class. This was supposed to be the game changer, our Arctic offshore patrol ships. On paper, they are decent. In reality, they are plagued by the Canadian curse. In late 2024 and 2025, reports surfaced of lead contamination in the drinking water, issues with cooling pumps, and mechanical failures. But even when they work, let's be honest about what they are. They are constabularies. They are armed with a 25mm gun. That is a weapon for stopping a drug smuggler, not a frigate. They are slower than the nuclear submarines hunting beneath them. They cannot fight in a war. And because the Nani Civic Naval Facility was scaled back to a seasonal gas station, these ships have nowhere to dock in the winter. So who is actually patrolling the North? The Canadian Rangers. This is not a joke. Our first line of defense in the remote North is a volunteer force of mostly indigenous locals. For decades, they carried World War II-era Lee Enfield rifles. They are incredible survivalists. They're the eyes and ears of the military. But think about the optics. On one side, a Russian nuclear-powered icebreaker armed with Kaliber cruise missiles. On the other side, a brave Canadian Ranger on a snowmobile with a rifle in a hoodie. That is the disparity. We are bringing a neighborhood watch to a geopolitical knife fight. We are entering the window of vulnerability. 2026, the commercial test. The first unauthorized commercial convoys will start moving. They won't ask permission, they will just notify the Coast Guard as a courtesy. If Canada doesn't stop them, we lose the legal right to stop them later. It's called acquiescence. If you don't fence your yard, it becomes a public park. 2027, the tourism disaster. The blue ocean summer brings cruise ships, thousands of civilians. Inevitably, a ship will hit an uncharted rock in the Queen Maud Gulf. Who rescues them? If a Russian or American icebreaker gets there first because our assets are too far away, they demonstrate competence. They prove to the world that Canada cannot manage its own territory. 2029, the investment trap. This is the real danger. It's not an invasion, it's a buyout. Mining companies in the north are desperate for infrastructure. Roads, ports, power. Ottawa is slow and expensive. China is fast and cheap. If the Nunavut government, frustrated by federal neglect, starts accepting foreign investment to build ports, Canada loses control from the inside out. This is salami slicing. You don't lose the Arctic in a war, you lose it one contract at a time. Sovereignty is not a line on a map, it is a muscle. You have to exercise it, or it dies. For a century, the ice did the heavy lifting for us. It was the cheapest national defense system in history, but the climate bill has come due. Canada has a choice to make in the next 1,000 days. We can continue to treat the Arctic like a postcard, a pretty picture we look at from a distance, or we can finally treat it like a home. That means real military assets, submarines that can operate under the ice, not just patrol ships that float on top of it. It means settling the dispute with the US, perhaps creating a joint command before our rivals exploit the gap. But most importantly, it means investing in the people who live there. The Inuit are the only reason we have a claim to the North at all. If we want to keep the true North strong and free, we need to ensure the people of the North are strong and free. The Northwest Passage is opening, the world is coming, and the question isn't whether the ice will melt. The question is, when the water clears, will Canada still be there? I want to know where you stand on this. Here is the question of the day. If a foreign fleet enters the Northwest Passage in 2030 without permission, what should Canada actually do? Do we fire a warning shot and risk a war we can't win? Or do we wave them through and admit that the true North isn't ours anymore?